By the way, guys, this video is going to cover plagues 1 through 5. And stay tuned for the next video so you can find out what happens in plagues 6 through 10.
This? What do you have there, a beetle? Thank you for visiting. Hello, everyone. We're outside. Welcome to the great outdoors of Northeast Missouri. It's been a while. My bad. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite Bible stories in the entire Bible, and that is the story of Moses and the 10 plagues. If you want to follow along today, it's going to be in Exodus. We're going to go like Exodus 7 to 12-ish, like the middle of 12. Our boy Moses is with his brother Aaron, and God, has given them all this responsibility. They're doing great things. They're like the dynamic duo. Moses and Aaron and the people of Israel are slaves in Egypt, right? They want to get out of there. And so God tells Moses and Aaron, you're going to have to go in and talk to Pharaoh and try and convince him to let you out. But here's the deal, is that I've hardened Pharaoh's heart, and I'm going to do all these things to try and get them to believe in me, but he's not going to listen to you. God tells him straight up, I've hardened his heart. He's not going to listen to you. When God gives him this command, Moses is 80 years old and Aaron is 83. God tells him, go to Pharaoh and command him to let your people go. The Lord tells Moses, go out to the Nile. If Pharaoh, doesn't let your people go, which is not going to happen the first time. But he tells him, go out to the Nile, which is the big river in Egypt, and stick your staff in the water, and the water will turn to blood. What's cool and important about this is that they make sure that Pharaoh's out there, because Pharaoh would go out to the Nile every day and worship and probably take a bath or something, because he was Pharaoh. He's an important guy. So they make sure that Pharaoh's out there when they're yum, blood. The Nile turns to blood and the fish die, and it's stanky. People can't drink out of it, obviously. But not even just the Nile's gonna turn to blood, all of the freshwater streams and lakes and ponds and stuff also turn to blood. Oh, and this is also cool. Even the vessels in stones and in wood that hold water, that all turned to blood too. So God was not messing around. He got every part of Egypt and he turned their water into blood. This is important, is that Pharaoh has these magicians and sorcerers in his kingdom, and they also turn some water red. They probably didn't do the same thing that God did, but they're no big deal. We can do this too. So Pharaoh's nope, not happening today, folks. And also, 7 days pass after the waters turn to blood. So it's not just one right after the other. God lets this one sink in for a little bit. He lets the water stank and the fish stank and everything be nasty for 7 days. Then the Lord commands Moses again to go into Pharaoh, tell him, let your people go. And if he doesn't, this time I'm going to plague Egypt with frogs. So frogs came raining out of the sky, all in people's houses, all in their ovens and their bowls and everything. Frogs everywhere. So Pharaoh, he doesn't like this one. He calls Moses and Aaron. He says, come here, guys, come here. We got to have a bro chat. And he tells them, listen, I don't like this. And I promise that if you get these frogs to go away, I'll let your people go. I'll let them go make their sacrifices. Everything will be chill. Just get these frogs out of my kingdom. Moses is I probably know that he's not going to do that, but because I'm a good man, I'm going to give this person a chance. So he goes and he pleads with God to get the frogs out of the kingdom. God does just that, but then all the frogs die, basically, and they just pile them into heaps, and so the frogs are gross and stinky, dead, crispy, dead frogs, when they get run over on the road. Anyway, Pharaoh ends up not letting them go. He just is oh, no more frogs, and he just keeps, his heart's hardened again by the Lord, basically. Okay, so then God goes right into another plague, and he tells Moses, to tell Aaron, because Aaron's kind of the spokesman, stretch out your staff, strike the dust so that gnats appear. That's pretty much it. They appear and it's gross. But then the magicians try to do this thing again, right? They try and prove that they can do the same thing and that Moses and Aaron are just playing a trick on everyone. Well, the magicians can't make these gnats appear out of just thin air. And so they tell Pharaoh, dude, this is God. Like, this is bigger than us. We can't do this. And they say, I love their wording here. Exodus 8:19. The magician said to Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened. He would not listen to them, as the Lord said. This is the finger of God. And gnats appeared. They didn't even say, like, this is the hand of God. This is the finger of God. That's how divine and powerful God is. And these magicians know it. God tells them, go up in the morning to Pharaoh, which is really funny because, like, what if Pharaoh wasn't a morning person? Like, what if that's why God kept telling them, like, rise up early in the morning and go see Pharaoh? I just thought of that. So they go in, they tell him, let my people go. Well, he doesn't, obviously. And so this time, God sends swarms of flies on Egypt. But with this plague, he sends them all over Egypt, but he separates the land where the Israelites are living so that they aren't plagued by the swarm of flies. It's obvious that God differentiated between his people and between the Egyptians. And so these flies ruin all the land. They're like, you know. And once again, Pharaoh goes to Moses and he says, please plead for me and tell God that, you know, to send this plague away from us. I promise I'll be good afterward, wink, wink. So Moses goes and he asks God to send the flies away, which he does, knowing that Pharaoh is not gonna be nice. The Israelites are still slaves in Egypt. So they go into Pharaoh again and they ask him to free the slaves. He does not. And this time God is going to kill all the Egyptian livestock. Not great. But once again, God makes a distinction between the livestock of the Israelites and the livestock of the Egyptians.